Hey, I hope everyone's having a great Friday night. On Tuesday night's coaching call, Titus asked a wonderful question, and it left me very intrigued, and I've been thinking about it nonstop for the past 3 days, and I was finally able to work through it. So over the past year and a half, I've seen Titus put in a ton of work building, launching dropshipping brands, private label brands, print-on-demand brands, building beautiful landing pages and websites, running legitimate ad campaigns. But some of them started out with traction. Some of them were generating a profit for a while, but they never really scaled consistently, scaled to where he wanted them to grow. And his question was basically, he feels like he's gotten to the point where he's pinpointed the problems of these various brands. And then he'll implement a solution, but then there's no gain from that. And so he wanted to know what my process was to actually validate that the problem identified is a problem, if your results aren't really changing. And that was a really tricky question for me to answer because I never really had broken down my process prior to this. And what I realized is that nowadays for me, it really comes down to the validation before I actually launch. And these are all steps that you can do if you've already launched, but go through it like you're relaunching the brand. And it's going to highlight a lot of problem areas that you might have not noticed. So this is an app called Miro. If you download Miro, I think you can go to just Google Miro. I'll share the link to this template that I built out. And you're more than welcome to make edits and use this. And so when I thought about my process nowadays, this is really what I go through to verify the market, product, and the brand. So I'll run through this, and then for those of you that want to try this, I really feel like it's going to highlight some key issues or areas of major improvement. So up here, we have the phases of the product verification. So there's really 3 stages to my process, stage 1, 2, and 3. And then we have, so this correlates to this, so this first column, these questions here should be answered with these notepads in column number 2. So for example, first thing I want you to validate and verify is existing problems. What problems do customers of existing competitors and their products have? So this is one where you would go on to Amazon, and let's say that you're selling shaker cups. You go on Amazon, you type in shaker cups, you'd find the top brands, and then you would ask yourself, well, what are the problems that customers are facing? Look through the reviews, feedback, enter those here. So maybe they crack. Miro's great, you can zoom in really far, so type as much as you want. They crack, maybe they non-recyclable plastic. I don't know. I didn't do any research on shaker bottles, but go ahead and find the existing problems. Next, ask yourself, can you actually solve those problems? So if you listed problem 1 here, rate it 1 through 5. 1 being that it's very difficult to solve, 5 being that it's relatively easy. Next thing that I want you to do is figure out where the customers of those brands hang out. Are they on Facebook? Are they in Facebook groups? Are they on Pinterest, Instagram, forums? Where online are these existing customers hanging out? Because that's going to give you a good idea of the marketing potential. Is the product easy to source? How are the profit margins? So just do a quick scan through. Make sure that it is something that you can actually source. Make sure it's not proprietary. Make sure that it's realistic. And then just kind of jot some notes down here. And already it's going to give you a good idea of the customer base, where they're at, if this is something you could actually do. Because if you really can't get past this first point, no point in putting more time into it. So stage 2, this is something that I've started doing, and it has been an absolute game changer. So go to mystorybrand.com, and it's going to have you build a brand story. If you don't know what that is, it'll direct you step by step there. So just go check it out. But basically, what I want you to do is write a theoretical brand story. You're going to talk about building trust with your customer, mission statements, making the customer the hero. What this is going to tell you now is if building a really legitimate sounding brand is even possible in this space. Along with that, so after you ask if that brand sounds legitimate, if it actually has angles to it, Does it also differ from the top 3 competition, or are you trying to state the same mission, same everything as they are? Because if that's the case, they already have the foothold in that pocket of the industry. So let's say that everything looks good here. Also, these are just notes. Like, take notes while you're jotting down the top 3 competition. So like as you go through the first one, you can enter in their mission statement, etc. Just take a bunch of notes. It's going to bring a lot of clarity to everything. And then finally, stage 3 is once you've verified all of that, decide on a business model. This private label, custom manufactured, what is the business model here? Run projection numbers. Open Google Sheets, run your numbers, figure out what profit margins you would need to hit X amount in revenue and profit per year, estimate potential seasonality, run your numbers. The numbers are going to tell you, once again, if this is viable and if there's a massive opportunity. Finally, create brand assets. Build a brand around mystorybrand.com. Whatever you wrote there, build a brand that fits the customers. Since you know where they hang out, you know the color schemes, you know other brands they like, build a brand. And then this is a new step that I'm going to start doing from now on. I'm going to just build out a simple landing page, and I'll have a much deeper breakdown on this very soon, because this is kind of a deep one. But basically, I'm not going to build out an entire Shopify store for it. I'm going to build a landing page and then run traffic to it from Facebook ads, from wherever we found that the customer base is hanging out, and just see potential. Just collect some data, spend $100, because doing this and getting to stage 3.4 and realizing it isn't going to work is much better than launching a full brand, investing a lot more time, a lot more capital into it, and then being like, shoot, I might have done something wrong here. So I found doing all this, putting in the work, yes, this is work. This is not an easy process, but it's still going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to heavily validate these products. So Titus, phenomenal question. Thank you for asking it, and hopefully this brings some clarity into my process. Have a great weekend.